People first came to Florida about 12,000 years ago during the Ice Age, when the climate was much cooler. As the Ice Age ended, more tribes moved in. These early people buried their dead in wetlands and lived on mounds, creating art like pottery. About 500 years before the Spanish came, Native American tribes in Florida began farming crops like corn, beans, and squash, especially in the Panhandle, where the soil was rich. They built large gathering spaces and fished in nearby rivers and lakes. One tribe, the Pensacola, lived in the Panhandle and were known for their beautiful pottery, found at places like Bottle Creek. Another tribe, the Tocobaga, lived near Tampa Bay. They fished, collected oysters, and grew nuts and fruits. They also hunted deer and even manatees. Most lived in coastal villages but traveled inland as needed. They built tall sand mounds to bury their leaders. The Seminoles are perhaps the most well-known Native American group in Florida. Originally part of the Creek tribe, they eventually became their own people and spread across the state. They fought against both the Spanish and Americans for land. The Seminoles have unique traditions, like the grass dance, and lived in special homes called chickees, which were built on stilts to keep cool in the hot weather. Another tribe, the Tequesta, lived in what is now Miami. They spoke a language similar to the Calusa and moved inland in summer to escape mosquitoes. They settled around 1000 BCE, thriving on the fertile land. They built large mounds, and one is still visible today at the Kennedy Space Center. In 1513, Spanish explorer Juan Ponce de León landed in Florida, specifically St. Augustine, while searching for the legendary Fountain of Youth. He didn't find it, but he named the land Florida, which means land of flowers in Spanish, because he arrived during a spring festival. Ponce de León was killed on his second trip, but in 1565, the Spanish established a colony in St. Augustine, the oldest permanent settlement in North America. The Spanish aimed to protect their ships and expand their territory, but misunderstandings with the native people led to conflict. Many natives were enslaved, and European diseases took a heavy toll on Native American populations. In 1515, Spanish explorers visited Pinellas County and traded with the Tocobaga tribe. Unfortunately, conflicts arose, and many Tocobaga suffered from diseases and violence. The name Pinellas comes from the Spanish Punta Pinal, meaning point of pines. As other tribes diminished, the Seminoles grew stronger. In 1763, the Spanish gave Florida to the British, who established large farms. The Seminoles resisted, leading to conflicts with the British. After the American Revolution, Spain regained Florida, but American settlers wanted it too, causing more clashes. The First Seminole War took place between 1817 and 1818, with Andrew Jackson leading attacks on native villages. Eventually, Florida became part of the U.S., but the cost was high for the native people. The Second Seminole War, 1835 to 1842, occurred when the U.S. government forced the Seminoles to leave their homes for reservations. Many were forced out, and some fought back, led by Osceola, but he was captured and killed, leading to the decline of resistance. The Third Seminole War, 1855 to 1858, was the last attempt to remove the remaining Seminoles. The government eventually paid them to leave Florida, with many moving to Oklahoma. Today, many tribes have disappeared, but their history is still part of Florida. Some, like the Seminoles, continue to share their culture through festivals with dances, music, and traditional food. Native American culture has greatly influenced Florida's history, and it's important to remember their contributions.